What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Before I get into this, let me ask you, do me a favor, hit the like button. Talked about it earlier today. We are slowly getting pushed out of the algorithm because, and I fully understand this, we're promoting channels that generate income. This channel does not. But speaking of income, I have a goal to get to 100 members over at gorlickbread.com before the end of the month. We are only 30 members away. You can go over right now. You can subscribe for a single month. I think a lot of you, if you enjoy this content, will love that content. And I also know that this is going to be a video, as well as some things that I've planned in the upcoming months that Chantal is absolutely going to hate. But I want to offer to you a different perspective. Chantal posted this morning, had Peetz set up a GoFundMe to get me back to Canada, asking people to donate. This is something that I really think could have an impact on Peetz's life. I don't know what the legal ramifications are. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But what I would like to share with you is, at bare minimum, from what I've seen, Peetz would be unable to ever set up a GoFundMe again based on what I'm about to outline for you. The reality is there may be a time where Peetz does need help. Peetz does have a real issue, and this is putting that in jeopardy. So we're going to look at this examples of expressly forbidden fraudulent activity. And I want you to focus on the second line: lying or being misleading about your identity as an organizer or your relationship to the ultimate recipient of the funds. And then underneath that, posting misleading statements in the fundraiser story. With that in mind, go back if you'd like. I've already screenshotted it, Chantal. The fundraiser is defined as, let's get Foodie Beauty back to Canada. She needs help starting over with finding a new home and taking Julia, her cat, with her. She needs to get to Canada to also get help from Canadian healthcare. We are going to take a deep dive into that subject. We are going to show some examples of Chantal and her healthcare while abroad. But the last sentence, she is a Canadian citizen traveling in the Middle East. Now, how easy are these claims to be proven misleading? Again, we don't have to define yes or no, black or white. All we have to define is misleading. So, with that in mind, we're going to start here and we're going to address the healthcare. This is a month ago. This is Chantal in Syria posting an 8-second clip saying that she has lost a little bit of weight, showing her midsection in a dress she had worn several times before and cited was tighter than it currently is. So if Chantal is coming online last month and expressing weight loss, asking for your opinion on weight loss, do we really feel that we're misleading and citing we need to get back to Canada for healthcare? Also, 2 months ago, shocking health updates. Okay, new updates: weight loss, diabetes, mental, before and after, right? This is meant to show a weight loss. This is meant to show progress, positive changes. So again, the GoFundMe that Peetz has set up is specifying she needs to get home for healthcare. Yet here she is showing these positive changes twice in the last 2 months. And these are just two examples. Now, we're going to take another step into finding a new home, okay? And a Canadian citizen traveling. Canadian citizen traveling, okay? When you are traveling, do you define where you're traveling as home? Again, 2 months ago, alone, at home in Syria. So you're traveling or you're living there. Those are two very different things. And again, all we have to find is misleading statements. Okay? Our kitchen in Syria, long hangout. Okay? Let's understand, our possessive, meaning something we have. It's our kitchen here in Syria, and I'm so comfortable here, I'm going to stream for over 4 hours. Are we misleading ourselves as a traveler if we're having these homes, okay? If we have our kitchen. And most importantly, this, okay? All of these within the last 3 months, okay? If you want to be ultra forgiving and run these to the max of their time frame, 120 days. Clearing the air, a picture of her in Salah and the citation wifey. Okay? Canadian citizen or married to someone in the Middle East. I'm a traveler or I'm married to someone in the Middle East. All again we have to prove is misleading. Now, final case in point. Canada vlog. This is 8 months ago. This is her last trip back to Canada. Canada mega vlog. Christmas, travel, flight back to Kuwait. Okay, flight back to Kuwait. You see the flags there. Okay, so we're openly showing that just 8 months ago, we are traveling back to the Middle East. When we talk about needs to get home, needs to start over, you were just there 8 months ago. Also, the truth behind coming to Canada, why I came to Canada. Understand, all we have to do is prove misleading. We are now saying that we need to go back because of Canadian healthcare. We need to start over. And we're a traveler in the Middle East. There are thousands of times you can go and watch these videos and see her document different concepts as to her relationship, as to their home, as to her status. Okay? But I think at its simplest form, if you just look at the titles, you look at the thumbnails, it sends a very clear message that Chantal was freely traveling without restriction, without concern, from Canada to Kuwait, from Canada to Syria. She was, as recent as 2 months ago, traveling to other places. Whether or not it was for her visas does not matter. What matters now is we simply have to talk about whether or not it's misleading. And I would say you could make a very clear case that there's a lot of misleading being done here. As I said, the impact to Peetz, we don't know. I would think bare minimum, if you get caught doing something like this, they're going to tell you in the future, you're not able to try to leverage this platform. You're going to need to look elsewhere. The fact that Chantal did not set this up in her name, the fact that she also knows that they have up to 1 year after collecting donations to prove that the funds were not used as intended and that will all come back on Peetz. Is it a far stretch, okay? Is it a honest far stretch of the imagination to assume that Peetz would be collecting money for Chantal and within a year we can determine a misappropriation of those donations, and then Peetz is financially held accountable for them? And how much would he be held accountable? Chantal, this is supposed to be your best friend. This is supposed to be someone you care about. This is a person that you almost had children with. And here you are, putting him once again in harm's way financially because you are irresponsible. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Appreciate you watching it. You know, whether this GoFundMe comes down or not, I'll be back as soon as I can with more coming.